Good morning, everybody, or possibly good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. There has been another hazardous train derailment. This was in Pennsylvania, and here's the skinny. I've got about 3 or 4 stories I've been trying to kind of compile, and I'm going to add to this later on because there has been more and more of these high-profile derailments happening as of in 2023. And I hope that they don't take a freight train up to 20 hazardous cars containing silicone pellets. I hope they don't set those on fire like they did in Ohio. But Norfolk Southern track and forces evacuation of hundreds of homes in Pennsylvania town of 6,400. So there's 6,400 people in this town, and they're evacuating hundreds of homes. Roughly a dozen homes in the suburb 15 miles from Philly have since been evacuated, as well as several businesses. A 40-car SCX Norfolk Trail derails in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So it's in Montgomery County. The derailment occurred just before 5 a.m. this morning, prompting emergency crews to respond in the area of White Marsh Township. So if you guys are there, send me anything you got on that. The derailed cars are visible, bent up on tracks. The tracks look like spaghetti. And maybe later I'll put some aerial footage of the crash. It's really nothing, there's nothing on fire yet. They haven't dumped the contents out and set it on fire yet. No known injuries are reported at this time. It is unclear if the derailed cars have caught fire. So there must be smoke. I don't know why it would say that. There's a potential for hazardous materials to leak into local waterways and contaminate the surrounding area. Let's hope that's not the case, all right? Some sources told stations that precautions as well as level 2 hazmat response stemmed from the fact that 15 to 20 cars were believed to be carrying hazardous materials. In a statement for some 3 hours after the crash, police said that the only material leaking out of the train at the moment was silicone pellets, which pose no threat to the public. There is no word on what caused the derailment, though it had been raining when it occurred. I don't know how much that matters, but metal on metal is pretty slick. I bet it does add to it. That is about all that we know at this moment. Now, there's a little more information that I got from Bud over at Side Hustle Survivalist. He's having trouble getting screws from his local Lowe's. They are 4 to 6 weeks behind. I thought that was very strange. I'm actually doing a project out here, and I'm about to need some screws. What else that was, there's been some information sent to Financial Prepper fpnetworkinfo@gmail.com. And I want to get that to you as well. And let's see. FV says lab-grown human eggs is a new thing. So it's just a picture. How a Saudi firm tapped a gusher of water in drought-stricken Arizona. Okay, that ought to be a good one. Water's a big deal in Arizona right now. A Saudi firm has tapped a gusher of water in drought-stricken Arizona. A mega drought has seared Arizona, stressing its rivers and reservoirs and reducing water to a trickle. But green fields of alfalfa stretch across thousands of acres of desert land, shimmering in the burning sunlights. So for nearly a decade, the state of Arizona has leased this rural terrain west of Phoenix to a Saudi-owned company, allowing it to pump all the water it needs to grow the alfalfa hay, a crop it exports, this is crazy, to feed the kingdom's dairy cows. Oh, they can have dairy cows over there? I wonder if they fart over there. And for years, the state did not know how much water the company was consuming. The lack of information was a choice. I bet it was. Soon after the company, Fundamente, Arizona, arrived in the Butler Valley. The state planner suggesting the company to install meters to report its water uses. The way the memo argued, the state at least obtained accurate information on the water drained from the valley. Water could otherwise serve as a backup booming urban areas. So it's nuts to me how many people from foreign countries own property here. The Chinese own a staggering amount of property here. Now I have Saudi growing alfalfa here and shipping it over there for their milk cows. Thank you for sharing this. So you guys that are hurting for water in Arizona, just know Saudi's getting it. Now, there's some stuff on here that I can't talk about that will be on Twitter. If you don't follow us on Twitter, it's Financial Prepper, at Financial Prepper, PPR, not ER. And it's about the C-19 bioweapons that target Caucasians and black people, usually men of fighting age. But I'm not going to get into that too much. I have been disciplined, I guess, by the carrots and sticks method. Did y'all see that? Good morning, Charger Mopar. I can catch a few comments. I am on my phone at the moment. The mic seems to be doing pretty good. There's one more thing. The BIS bulletin. I'm going to have to dig into this, Dan Bob. The BIS is the central bank of all central banks. They are the central power of central powers. So watch those guys. And guys, I'm going to say that's it. Do you have any questions? I know precious metals are looking to rip way higher. I just did a video with Crypto Charts Joe or Simplistic Chart Joe. That information's in the description if you want to check it out. Or I'll put the link to the course in the description. But you probably should just watch the last video I did with Simplistic Charts Joe about silver. It's looking like it's fixing to rip, and it's pretty exciting. The dollar's getting hammered right now, and they've always got manipulation, you know. The BIS is helping BRICS and their banking already. Oh yeah, see, it's a massive, the BIS is upping their gold holdings by, I think it's almost 4x now. It's crazy. These central planners and governments are buying gold, and it's just, the population has been talked out of it. But fortunately, we have been talking about precious metals enough that it's obvious to the people that know about it. So, and to the people that don't know about it, you know, that's the problem. You know, you've been talked out of sound money. We're used to trading $20 bills, and people are waking up. If you do have any precious metal needs, that's Stacy's number. I want to encourage you to go two other places first. The important thing for me is to grow the community and make the community legitimately wealthy. That's why I'm trying to learn charts. I'm running at this hard, guys, and I'm encouraging you to because I desire to have a wealthy community. I know preppers, there's different types of preppers. You know, there's those ones that want to ball up in a hard knot and not do anything. There's ones that just talk about it and don't ever take action. And then there's some that I kind of feel like I am a prepper, but I am not a doomsday all out, you know, that's not really my thing. I think we have a little bit longer before we get there. I think we have a moment of prosperity if we're paying attention. If we're going to pay attention, we're going to pay attention to the charts. We're going to pay attention to the dollar, silver, gold, what they're doing, what they're saying, because I'm just sick of losing money in the stock market. I have been, really after miners, these small junior miners, for a long time, and I've been in them probably 7 or 8 years, and I've consistently not done that great. I mean, a lot of people call me and say, "Hey, my miners are down." You hadn't seen mine. My timing is awful, and that's the thing. If we can learn charts, we can be a little more, a lot more, something to the tune of 70 to 83% better off in our placements when we get in. And that includes physical too. I'm really getting excited about it. So if you guys want to come on and learn with me, I'm going to have Simplistic Charts Joe on every chance I get, really. Every time we run up on something, and he's really giving some nuggets out there. He's giving some really good information for free on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have subscribed, look, because I have had people just like Bud at Side Hustle Survivalist be unsubscribed like 3 and 4 times. I've been having people's comments get removed, and they're blaming me for it. And I'm not removing people's comments unless they're not here to help. If you're not here to help, you're gone. I don't put up with that. It doesn't bother me. Oh, and by the way, I will never ever ask you for money. I will not do that. Oh, that's a good one, Joe. We have several engines in our machine shop waiting 3, 4, 6 months for camshafts and other internals. Important things are getting hard to find. This is going to get way worse when you come to zinc. These, what are you going to call them? Materials, that are hard to find. If we have a hot war, or even this, whatever you want to call it, with China, something to do with Taiwan, anything over there, it's where all the chips are made in Taiwan, like 80%. It's nuts. We've been sold down the river by our politicians. All that stuff is going to be needed, and it could shut us down without a shot fired. Yes, China needs us, and I get all that. But China doesn't care. They do not care about their people. They would sacrifice half of them for anything to better the party. China's run by the CCP, not a government. They actually run the government. They're a true tops-down approach. So, if you need anything, if you need to be prepared, I would suggest getting some of those things that you have to make it. Because when I look around at my tools, when I'm going through I'm all over the place in this lab, but I'm just going for it, okay? I was doing a tool count the other day and seeing what I had and seeing what I needed to get. The majority of things that I have are made in China. It makes me sick, and you can't find them in the United States. They aren't being manufactured. They're just not. And the ones that are being manufactured in the United States, China's ripping their technology off, just like these little welding machines that I do on my welding channel. I have a plasma cutter. It's like $200. It works great. They have a MIG machine. I'm looking at one right here, Arc Captain. It works great, and they're stupid cheap. So 5 of each, buddy. Yard sale finds. That's right, Pete. 1 is 9, 2 is 1, 3 is where you want to be. When it comes to tools, you might want to get 5. Jake, Custom Auto Parts, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Did it say something else? Okay. No. Okay. Sorry about that. Here's another thing that I have noticed, and I talked over with some friends of mine. We had a get together, and we were talking about seeds and seed dispensers. Please be careful in the comments. That would be enough to get me in big trouble. All right, guys, we've got, like I've said before, there's been 33,000 encounters of Russians at the border in the last 7.5 months. Okay? Let that sink in. We've had 10,000 Chinese encounters. I know I talk about it all the time. For the people that are here that don't know that, you know it now. Now, that's just encounters. We don't know how many is over here. Please have a way to protect yourself. Okay? There's a good friend of mine. I'm not getting paid to talk about him, but he sells bulk seeds and seed dispensers and seed holders and everything to do with seeds. If you can imagine it, he carries it, and he has for the last, ever since I've known him, actually, my whole adult life, before my adult life, he's been in this space. He has the best deals, and that's something that I know there's, without a doubt, 100% for sure, that is an investment that will eventually go up in value. There's no guarantees on the stock market, Bitcoin. I feel like precious metal is a guarantee. We don't have a timeline. But the next scare that happens, the very next, whatever they come up with, the people that don't want you to protect yourself, whatever they come up with, it takes a while to push it along. They have to mention it and has to go through all the things. Well, while that's happening, the prices of these items go to the moon. A seed dispenser that carries a bunch of seeds, like 30, went from $9, $10 to $100. That's a 10x. It just makes sense. Steel seeds grow well if stored properly. Yeah, I'm not crazy about steel. I just soon have the good stuff. PB is steel. All right, guys, they're slipping by me. But what else? There's something else that I felt. Nobody can talk me out of that. Nobody can talk me out of the stuff that we need to protect ourselves is going to be harder to get and more expensive. It'll probably always be around. That's one thing I really want to push. Food will always be here. We will always have diesel. We will always have oil. The question will be at what price? We will have gold, silver. We'll have all that, but at what price? I did want to give a shout out to Crypto Charts Joe. He mentioned to me Theta. I know a lot of you are not on the crypto bandwagon. I get it. Don't mess with it if you don't feel comfortable. But just please take a look at it. I'll actually post it on Twitter, Financial Prepper, at Financial PPR, because it seems to be the way videos are going to be done in the future on the blockchain. This is a new environment. Man, I really am all over the place. But I want somebody to listen to this because there's a good chance it's like 75 cents right now. There's a good chance it could, if you've never bought something at 10 cents and watch it go to $5 or $10, it is wild. It is life-changing. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, especially not in the near term. We have no idea. It looks like a massive rug pull's piling up to me on this crypto stuff. When you have all these big names coming in, BlackRock and all these people, it seems like, it's always the opposite of what I think. That's why I'm trying to get into the charts. That's why I'm trying to learn how to read charts. Because I went back and I looked, and not everyone, but most of the time when it was pinned down on the chart, there was a way to make money every time. Now, hindsight's 2020, but I'm doing my diligence on this, guys, and I really think it's something that we need to look at. So Theta, check it out. Okay? Any questions? Anybody? All right. Either there's no questions or they're not popping up on the screen. Precious metals, I covered that. Go watch that video, the very last one I did about silver. The dollar's dying. Well, the dollar's dying, but don't think it's going to go down forever. It's going to come back up. I'm sure they'll manipulate it and they'll pump it back up. That's going to be the way. But as we speak right now, Stacy's in there on the phone with somebody, and they're buying precious metals. I have been overwhelmed at the people that have taken advantage of this opportunity, and they keep taking advantage of it as it dips. When it dips, there's a few people that are not like me that actually buy at the bottom. My grandfather's one of them, actually. Where can I buy theta? That is a really good question. I'll do a video on it. It's really hard to find. These things are starting to get harder to find. Wouldn't you think that would be the case? If you think the few that's in power wants you to have prosperity, you're wrong. If you think that they want you to have something that's really going to value, I just don't think so. I think they're going to make everything harder to get that's of value. State gold-backed dollars. Yes, there's been many states moving. They're putting things in place to so you can. The first step, and I get a lot of backlash from this. The first step is having precious metals to pay your taxes. That be a viable way to pay taxes. So don't when you see that say, well, I'm not paying my taxes in precious metals. Well, I'm not either. But just know that's a step in the right direction. I'm having a hard time finding 410 seeds. I am too, man. I use my 410 on my pond patrol because ever since we built the two. Come here, look at this. Come here, Jose. Jose, you got some cucumbers. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I think we let those go too long.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's. So, yeah. And by the way, grow a garden, man. It'll help. That is on KuCoin. Okay, that's good to know. I just looked and I thought you could trade it, but I didn't know you could buy it. Yeah, the cucumbers got away from us. Anything else? Fertilizer, man. Look, I'm trying to grow fertilizer on this property. I'm trying to grow grass on this property because it is absolutely washing away. I've got metal bands that we put around a couple of trees so Stacey could have her flowers and stuff. And a lot of you saw the chickens throw out the flower bulbs. Well, we take care of that. But the point is, that metal ring is washed out of the ground this far now. I have got to get grass growing, okay? So I went to go buy fertilizer. 3 bags of fertilizer was like $190. It was stupid. Now, it was not your normal triple 13. I'm trying to think of it. I might make a video about it. It's supposed to be really good. But this fertilizer debacle is these few do not want you to have fertilizer to grow your food, to grow any food. They're going to make it harder and harder to get to, and the prices are going to the moon. And that would make me want to look at investing in some people that create fertilizers. So think about that. I know there's one a few miles from here that I actually owned at $12, and I sold it, and then it went down to $1, and I've been thinking about getting back in, but it's all the way back to $12, so maybe I'll make a video about that. But fertilizer is extremely important. That's how we feed the masses. The guy that developed chemical fertilizers won the Nobel Prize. It's a big deal. Fertilizer is free in Washington, D.C. They spew it constantly. You're right, Jack. That is and if you, I've been kind of paying attention to Joe Biden, and if you don't like his morals, maybe just wait around a little while. They change a lot. He's if you go back in history, he's for whatever gets votes. Mow grass, eat weeds. Yes, 15-minute cities. That is a big one. They look. United Nations will eventually. They're going to do their best to own everything. That is the plan of these few. They want to own it all. And people like me that have a little property, people like Bud that have a bunch of property, people that have, that they're going to do everything to take that away. You're going to see it everywhere else first. You can make your own fertilizer with urine. Okay, it's a lot easier to buy, but I guess if you had to. You know, in North Korea, the little kids run around and pick up dog poop. They had so much they had to get and give to the people that were in charge. to grow food. I know Africa just set out a warning about the food shortage, and it's a 20% worse than it was. They were already starving, so they're just going to starve 20% more. So, I've said a lot. Watch these other poor countries that are already poor and hurting. They're really fixing to make you sick. South Florida man, limestone lawn, zero maintenance. That's not a bad idea, but I would have trouble doing that on 18 acres. Russia canceled the grain export. Yes, Russia is really putting a hamper on any kind of grains being exported from the Europe's breadbasket, Ukraine. So that's going to hurt a lot of people as well. But I'm absolutely rambling. Guys, have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to watch this train car derailment toxic stuff because it's happening more and more. And it hasn't been like this before. People want to say it has, but there's a difference between a derailment where the train comes off the tracks a little bit and goes for a while. And then there's another difference of chemical spills, 40 car pileups that, just from neglect. And it looks like they made a ton of money during COVID, during that span, and they didn't spend any on their infrastructure, and now it's falling apart. But why would they fix it if they know things are fixing to get worse? You know what I'm saying? Why would you invest the money that you made when you think things are about to slow down? Because they are. We're headed to a recession. Don't think we're not. Please hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you in the next one. Later.